With over 1 week of consolidation, Cardano finally putting some hints on the charts that there may be its next bullish run to the 17-cent area. What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming by Crypto Capital Venture. If you're here, not a subscriber, hit that subscribe on the way in, and let's jump into the video. This is the daily chart zoomed out. I mean, it looks like nothing more than a ladder to the bull run, a ladder to gains. If you zoom out, you can just see Cardano. I mean, it broke this previous lower high back in February 2020. It broke that back here in May 2020 on the way up. Now, these this ladder looking thing are simple trend lines I just drew, right? Cardano has been seeing gains, it consolidates, it sees gains, it consolidates, it sees gains. Like, it just keeps happening, right? And the question is, how long will that happen before maybe there might be more of an aggressive pullback? That could happen at any time. I want to just throw that out there so that you're aware of that. But we do continue to track this repetition, right, of uptrend that Cardano is in right now. So the first thing I do want you just take a note of is this 50-day moving average. You see this uptrend, this lower trend line that Cardano keeps consolidating into, really confluent with that 50-day moving average. So really important area in any cryptocurrency for those pullbacks, right? So right now that sits at around 11.5 cents. I know that sounds crazy. There's a lot of bullishness going on in Cardano right now, and much more to come potentially for this fourth quarter. However, just be prepared for something like that, right? So price range perspective, we're looking at around a 20% dip to the 50-day moving average. Not saying that's going to happen, but be prepared, especially if you're new here in cryptocurrency. Those things happen quite often. So let's dig in. So we're going to look at what's going on these charts, but right here, right? The next move for Cardano. So if we zoom in here, now we're on a 6 hour. We're going from the daily to the 6 hour. There's just a couple things I wanted to go over with you. Patterns have been really just so reliable over the years, especially for Bitcoin and other altcoins and even Cardano. So what I have seen on these charts currently on the 6 hour are a couple things, right? So in this next step that we're in, this is what it looks like zoomed in. We have, number one, a potential inverse head and shoulders. With the left shoulder, we have the head, and then we have this right shoulder potentially in play as Cardano gets very close to potentially confirming this inverse head and shoulders, filling in this right shoulder. Now, that right shoulder needs to touch that neckline right around 14.6, and currently you can see, or I'm sorry, I guess you can call it 146. Currently, Cardano at 142. So very close. From a perspective of price range, we're looking at right around 2.5% to 3%. So that could happen in minutes, as you know. So if that begins happening, look for confirmation, look for a breakout of this upper trend line. And the other thing that we have confluent with this inverse head and shoulders is, you see this purple lower trend line here, that is a symmetrical triangle. Now, if Cardano decides not to confirm any type of inverse head and shoulders in the very short term, there could be potential for just continued consolidation down to this lower trend line. We're talking about the lower 13-cent area, right, to put in a higher low from this previous low back here at the beginning of August, not too long ago. So a couple scenarios there to the downside, what that might look like. We want to look at support down here around a 6%, 7% move to the downside. Does Cardano get support in that area? Because we are not yet at the apex of this potential symmetrical triangle that you see on the screen, right? You can see the apex going all the way out here to the middle of August. So we want to track that, right? So there's potential that Cardano confirms and breaks out, hitting a target eventually of over 16.5 cents out of this inverse head and shoulders. But we have this other target of a little over 17 cents currently on this symmetrical triangle. Now, obviously, this target comes down a little bit depending on where Cardano breaks out. But 17 cents, I guess you could call it kind of the average of the target breakout for Cardano. To the upside from where we're trading now, 17 cents, that looks like a gain of almost, I guess you could call it right around 20 cents or so, 20%, excuse me. So the question is Cardano going to confirm this inverse head and shoulders that you see on the screen or the symmetrical triangle. But I just want to note two things. It doesn't necessarily have to have bullish continuation. We zoom out on the 6 hour. It does keep happening. It is very close. We saw 2.5% away from happening again, but it doesn't have to keep happening, right? So we always want to anticipate downside as well in the midst of potential bullishness. And I get that gets hard to do because it's kind of like an emotional roller coaster to prepare for a bullish and bearish scenario at any time. But this is why we have confirmations. And currently we're looking at just over 0.146 for Cardano to get a confirmation that we might see a breakout at least to 16.5 cents. So in the meantime, what you want to look out for is a break through that area, 2.5% to the upside. And we also want to look for support, any type of support. If there's a red day in crypto, even tomorrow, does Cardano hold at 132? And that's kind of what I'm watching for on these charts. Now, just as Cardano could break to the upside, right, and see a bullish move, it could also break through support and see a bearish move coming all the way down here to this 11 cent area. And this is a 6 hour chart, but it really gives you an idea. This on the daily is the 50-day moving average, just below this very long-term lower trend line for Cardano in this longer term uptrend. And you can see it here on the daily. So there is possibility that we do come back down. Be prepared for it. Obviously, best case scenario is we get a bullish confirmation, a bullish move, not only in Cardano, but in just cryptocurrency markets in general. But we're getting close, I think, to getting some type of move for Cardano after this consolidation has played out since really the end of July 25th, the swing high, the last big move that Cardano had. You might remember in that time period, I guess this is within around a day, it saw a 20-25% swing high. So these moves do keep happening, and they do tend to look very similar. So for Cardano, this could look like something like this. We take that move that Cardano had. If we get a breakout, we might look like something like this, trading up here, even touching 18 cents, potentially consolidating, forming a new consolidation pattern of some sort. Doesn't have to be a symmetrical triangle, can be anything, could be a falling wedge or whatever. But that is a speculative look at what might be to come in the very short term for Cardano. So Bitcoin, we know, has been making some moves, and when we have an altcoin like Cardano not really doing much and consolidating, it could be a sign it's getting ready for a big move as well. So wanted to cover it real quick. Didn't want to make this a long video. Let me know your thoughts below. Are we getting that bullish continuation, or is there going to be a further throwback for Cardano, even down to that 50-day moving average, 11 cents? Let me know your thoughts. Appreciate you cruising by. Again, if you're here and not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you all in the next video. Have an awesome night, and God bless.